You know what I'm here for.
Back on top, punching the clock, clutching sanity. I got more cribs than Habitat for Humanity.
What's good, y'all? I'm sorry if I sound a little congested. My allergies are kind of kicking my butt right now, but I'm here to talk about basketball with y'all. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. For the month of December, I'm gonna try and upload every single day. I'm gonna try, no promises, but I'm really gonna try to upload every single day as long as I got something worthy to talk about. And it's still November, but we're gonna start a little early, man, because the Minnesota Timberwolves have been playing really good basketball lately. And I feel like the last time I spoke about them, they were playing terrible basketball. And this is a team that I'm really optimistic on. I want this team to succeed because their fan base has been through a lot. Their fans are very passionate. They die hard for this team. And when I made a video in the offseason, people were at my necks because I said, the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't do anything in the offseason that really made them a better team. That was my thoughts then. And now that I've seen it on court, I think the Timberwolves are doing a great job. And right now they're sitting at, I think, the 6th seed, 11-10 so far in the season. They're looking really good. And from the last couple games I've watched them up close and personal, I'm actually tuning in for a complete game. They've looked really good, so I want to talk about it. This is the worst time for me to be feeling bad, but the Timberwolves are playing really good basketball. They're playing really good basketball. I believe they've won like 7 of 8 or 8 of 9, something crazy like that. They've been playing really well. And this was after a stretch where they lost a few games in a row. And Karl said himself, he said, a 3 or 4 game losing streak in Minnesota turns into 18 easily. And there was the whole mix up with him supposedly getting hacked to where he liked a tweet that said free cat. And since then, Minnesota's been playing well. The difference between this team this season and I think last year is that defensively they were really good. They're, I think, a top 10 defense right now. They are holding teams, to low, scoring nights. They're doing a really good job. Just last night against the Pacers, held the Pacers to 98 points in a regulation game. Very good job defensively. I mean, I think that kind of is the Patrick Beverley effect. I think getting him into that locker room, you can say what you want about Pat Bev, but one thing he hangs his hat on is the defensive side of the ball. And he's done a really good job, I think, of implementing his, mentality into this team. You see D'Angelo Russell really defending now. That's something you couldn't have said in years prior. D'Lo's been kind of a negative defender in his NBA career, even when he was an all-star in Brooklyn. He hasn't been a good defender. This season, he's actually giving a lot of effort on the defensive side of the ball. He's talking a lot. He's been a leader out there. Got to shout out D'Lo for his play. And then even guys like, Karl has been cool defensively. He is fouling a lot. Like last 2 games, he's fouled out. He needs to chill out there because his team definitely needs him. But he's been, better on the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Edwards has been better on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that speaks to, getting Patrick Beverley in there, a vet that has lived on the defensive side of the floor in his NBA career. And he's really implementing that into this team so far this year. And since we're talking about defense, Jarred Vanderbilt has filled in that power forward role for this team. It was kind of a toss-up before the season. Is it going to be him? Is it going to be Jaden McDaniels? Is it going to be Taurean Prince? It's been a little bit of a combination of the 3, but Jarred Vanderbilt has been very good. If you want to hear more about Jarred Vanderbilt, check out my guy, Run the NBA. He has a great page where he breaks down a lot of stuff. And he just dropped a video earlier today talking about Jarred Vanderbilt. It was a really good one. Make sure y'all go tune in. I'll leave the link in the description so y'all can go ahead and check it out. And it should be on the screen somewhere too, so make sure you click that video if you get a chance. But Vanderbilt's been very well. Defensively is where he really makes his role. He does the dirty work for this team. He does the little things that I think don't show up in the box score enough, but he's been very impactful for this team so far this season. Then Anthony Edwards is just taking another step forward. We know how good Karl is, and I think the world is getting a little bit reminded because he's missed a lot of time the last few seasons, man. He's been through a lot. We know this. He's been through a lot of stuff the last couple of years, but he's starting to make his mark again, that he's one of the best bigs in the league, without a doubt. He's been playing well. The one thing that worried me, like early on in the season, this team was struggling to close games out. They were really struggling to close teams out. Like I remember the game against Memphis, they had like a 7-point lead with like 1.5 minutes left, and that game ended up going into overtime. But the last 2 games, they won close contests. One game went to double OT against the Philadelphia 76ers, which they could have closed it out. Andre Drummond gets a tip in to tie the game, to send it to a double OT, but they were able to close it out, and that was without Karl for, I believe, both of the overtime periods. Naz Reid has been critical for this team. They don't have a lot of big man depth. I mean, they pretty much have 2 centers on the roster. Naz Reid has been very good for this team, man. He is a dynamic big off that bench. He plays really well, and he played well when Cat fouled out the last 2 nights that they played, and he came in and provided very good minutes to help this team win games. D'Angelo Russell is back to closing out games. The offense is a lot more fluid down the stretch. They can get kind of heavy ISO sometimes, but I think they're starting to learn a little bit that, down the stretch, we got to, pick our poison a little better. We can't just isolate whoever touches the ball is taking the shot. Has to be a little better. And they've been doing that lately. That's why they are one of the hottest teams in basketball right now. And this is a team that I think should definitely be in the play-in race, but they should be thinking, you know, we should be able to secure, you know, a top 6 seed. We don't want to play in the play-in. We want to play actual playoff basketball regardless. You know, we want to be in that playoff chase. And so far they're handling their business. Just you gotta hope that they can keep this up. I'm really pulling for the Minnesota Timberwolves, bro. I think this is a team that, you know, their franchise has been through a lot, man. I mean, I think since 2004, they've made one playoff appearance. And even that took a miracle at the end. Not a miracle at the end of the season, but it was basically a playing game the final night of the regular season. That was the Jimmy Butler year in Minnesota. And people forget, like, I hate to revisit this, but when Jimmy Butler was healthy that season, they were like a 3 seed. It was a very good team. This was Cat, Wiggins, and other guys on that roster. They had like an old Jamal Crawford. Like, that was that team, and Jimmy Butler was there too. And they were able to make the playoffs, you know, that season. And I hope that this team can make the playoffs too. I mean, I hate to, you know, be a little, you know, fan biased, but I'm really rooting for the Timberwolves, man. I'm really hoping that this team can make a playoff push. Like, this is what I wish the Sacramento Kings could be. A team that is actually very promising, and they're pushing forward to try and make the playoffs. The Kings are kind of just a mess, but the Timberwolves are looking a lot better, and Timberwolves fans should be hopeful. I mean, at the very least, it's very good basketball. I enjoy watching this team a lot. Just the growth of Anthony Edwards is, you know, something to watch in itself, but D'Lo is kind of a redemption tour for him. People are kind of writing him off after the last couple seasons, you know, but he's starting to get back to, I don't want to say all-star form, but I think he's a better version of himself. He's doing a lot more to impact winning than he was before. Not just an offensive threat, he's actually becoming a capable defender. He's doing good in the playmaking department, and he's leading on the court, which I love to see. Not chirping at teammates, but, you know, making sure guys are in the right position, make sure they're in the right headspace. That's what it seems like he's doing on the court. Being a leader, which is, I think this team needs a lot. I want to, you know, they did a good job in the offseason. So far, it's looking good. I think just getting guys that change the culture a little bit, like a Patrick Beverley, and letting a Jared Vanderbilt spread his wings really helps out, and it really pays dividends. And even like Malik Beasley hasn't played great so far this season. That's another added weapon that can, you know, help this team down the line. I mentioned Naz Reid. Young player Leandro Balmaro, he's been getting playing time. They really like him on the defensive side of the floor, which is, I think, key. You know, you got to have as many capable defenders as possible. I like seeing him get minutes. And this team, man, I'm excited for Minnesota basketball. I don't think that's something that's been said maybe for a long time, maybe since KG was there, or maybe when Jimmy Butler got traded there. But I'm excited for Minnesota basketball. And I think this is a team, I don't want to jinx them, but I think they can definitely make a push for at least the play-in. But right now, sitting at the 6th seed, they would be in the playoffs if it started today, but there's still a lot of season left. Wishing the best for the Timberwolves. If y'all enjoyed, leave a like, man, subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 by the end of the month. If y'all can help me do that, I might have like a halftime hoops merch giveaway for y'all or something. But I appreciate y'all once again, and I'll be back next time with another video. I'll be back tomorrow, actually, for sure. I'm out. Peace.
Off season. Let's work. Hey, plotting my escape, this game right.